So I want to talk about a concept that happens in childhood that actually ends up having quite a detrimental effect in your core relationships in adulthood. So today I want to talk about the concept of becoming people's emotional support and emotional safe space. Okay, so what happens in childhood is usually your early caregiver or caregivers, depending on your situation, will have given you affection or attention inconsistently. You might predominantly be the older child, or you might be the middle child, or you could be an only child, but a lot of times there's a pattern happening where you have siblings in the house. And what will happen is, in a group of siblings, they will interact with the inconsistency differently and they will perform behaviours differently. So what tends to happen is one of the siblings in the group, I'm going to use the example of siblings because I think it's a really clear example, but you can be an only child and develop this trait. But for example, another sibling might perform quite detrimental, destructive behaviours to get attention. They might become the naughty child for attention, okay? And then if you're the only child, and then if you're the oldest child, or you are maybe the middle child, or you've got quite a few siblings and you notice that behaviour, you then adopt the mantle of, if that is the naughty child and that's the labelling that they will get, I will be the good one. I will be the one that gives so much love and attention to my caregiver in a bid to get love and attention back from them. So what you'll find is you could be an only child or a middle child, for example, and you start to spend a lot of time learning about your caregiver, what makes them happy. You become very well versed in your caregiver. You start probably learning things about your caregiver that you probably shouldn't at a young age. So quite commonly, people that will end up with this trait in young childhood, they might have been told about caregivers' financial issues, relationship issues, things going wrong at work. They might have been given huge adult problems, and their mantle is, I want to keep the caregiver happy. I will become the place that they come to talk to. I will offer them support, and I will pour into their cup and give them love, right? Then as a child, you don't have the capacity to understand that sometimes this technique works and sometimes you receive some affection back. You are a good girl. What would I do without you? You're a good boy. Come here and have a cuddle. But this caregiver is inconsistent. So a lot of times the strategy doesn't work. Get out my face. I don't want to talk to you. Slamming doors, not being there, walking home to an empty house because they've gone out and left you, whatever it is in that particular situation. But as an adult, you've learnt the blueprint from childhood. So what happens is you become very good, particularly in romantic relationships, from day one, you want to know everything about that person because you want to help them. You want to provide that space. So when they're saying, oh, I've got issues with my ex, oh, how can I help you with that? How can I be that soundboard for you? Oh, I'm just really tired at the moment. Oh, that must be exhausting. You know so much about their lives and they tend to not know a lot about you. And what happens is you kind of wake up and go, hang on a minute. People that are in relationships that I'm friends with, people I'm romantically interested in, friends, family members, I seem to know a lot more about them. I seem to emotionally invest in their lives and they don't do the same back. But this has come from childhood. So what happens is the person on the other side has realised that they can get access to all this love and you can become their safe space when they need it, their emotional reassurance, their kind of therapy pet. And they don't have to do a lot back for you because you've already given it. So what happens for these type of people? You don't realise that you've all overextended in all your core relationships before they've developed. It's like an instinct to be like, when someone will say, oh, what you up to or how you doing? Or you go, okay, well, what do you like? And then you'll keep pushing that conversation. Oh, is that your favourite thing? Like, oh, what do you do? And like, so you end up with this bank of information about the person. So when they're feeling low, they're like, oh, blah, 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 already knows the situation with my ex. Blah, 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 already knows that I'm having issues moving house. Blah, 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 already knows that I sometimes have depression. Because you've unconsciously, you've been mining from the beginning, so you have that. Because in some weird sense, you believe that if you're needed, that's where the affection will come from. So you have to become that person for them that they lean on and go, oh yeah, I'll go and speak to her, or I'll go speak to him because he knows everything. But what you're doing is you're imbalancing the relationship from the beginning. They don't reciprocate back because they don't need to. They get everything from you because you bring it forward, and it comes from childhood. You've probably been either an only child or a child with siblings who reacted in very different ways, so you became that good child. You were maybe the firstborn that had to take on the adult responsibilities in the house. You might have been the middle child that had very chaotic children around you, and you became that good girl, good boy archetype. And so love is your currency, but you don't realise you're doing it. But the good news is you can actually stop this behaviour, but it requires some radical reflection. So next time you enter a relationship, whether it's romantic, platonic, familial, whatever it is, you need to be saying to yourself, do I know as much about this person as they know about me? Or do I know more about this person than they know about me? Do I have an urge to fix it? Does somebody come with the language, oh, this happened to me today, and is your instinct, oh my God, I want to fix it. What is it? How do I make it better? How do I reassure you that you're doing a great job? If that's your natural inkling, that's when you need to say to yourself, whoa, whoa, whoa. It's not your job to fix their relationship with somebody else. It's not your job to fix their co-parenting situation. It's not your job to try and heal their depression or to try and make their financial situation better. You've done it on autopilot for so long that you probably are not reflective that you do it. But if you are people's safe space, it's because you've overinvested. And what's very difficult is from the very beginning, you need to stop that. You need to be reflective of, what does somebody give me back? Is it a reciprocal relationship in any capacity? Because if it isn't, you are just plugging into an empty mine. And I think from childhood wounds, this becomes a place where a lot of people feel quite connected to inconsistent relationships because they're used to it from childhood, first and foremost. But secondly, it's like you can plug all your love into something that you know is not going to give it back. You're almost scared of what happens when the day when someone can actually give me that back, and I would have to step into a reciprocal healthy relationship. So in a weird way, it is also a form of avoidance. You pick those people that you can get really close to love with, but not quite there. It is almost a self-punishment strategy. It's like, okay, how can I get myself really close but deprive myself of the thing I really need? And people don't necessarily do it in a toxic, they're punishing themselves way, but that's what happens because you don't have the strength or the patterns to be able to identify something healthy early on and foster it, because you're used to being let down. So you almost replay. You pick the people that you know will let you down. So you'll probably reflect now that you're not conscious you've engaged from the beginning in these relationships, but actually you are the person that's created this dynamic, not the other person, because you will have from the very beginning given way too much. So it's very important that when you look at relationships going forward, am I starting to overextend really early? Am I doing it because I feel like I need to get validation from them that I'm worthy of affection, worthy of, oh, you're my safe space. You're that person that, gets me. Are you looking for those from people? Because you need to understand that all relationships don't need you to be the archetypal good boy or good girl. You can be flawed and you can be intense and you can have your boundaries and you can ask and need things back in a relationship and someone will match that. You've just created this blueprint that you've trapped yourself into. So if any of that resonates and you think, yeah, I always am people's safe space, but they're never mine, reflect on why that is, and maybe in the future pace yourself. If you feel like you're overextending, pull yourself back a bit. Wait until there is evidence that you are both giving and receiving. And if that's not the case, do not invest anymore, because you are setting yourself up for those kind of blocked relationships that can't organically grow because you've trapped them. So yeah, think about it. Is there more that this person could know about me? Can I take a step back from asking a million questions, from getting really deep with them very early, and see if they want to know about me? And then give it some time. Say to yourself, in the next 2 weeks, I'll see how interested this person is in what I'm doing and what I bring to the table, and then I can reflect. Then you can even do something basic like get a notebook out and say to yourself, okay, what do I know about them? What have I invested in them versus what they've invested in me? And when you see it black and white on paper, you'll be able to say, actually, yeah, maybe I am giving a little bit more. And also listen to your body cues. If you're feeling really anxious, like you're monitoring a relationship, like you're pushing a relationship forward, like if you weren't the manager and the CEO of this relationship, it wouldn't work. That is a huge sign that you're over-investing and that the relationship itself isn't reciprocal. And these are things that you can start to listen to going forward.